Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Angela here, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the love, the comments, the likes from the previous videos. Really appreciated, and it's giving me, the drive to keep on posting these videos and staying consistent. So again, thank you so much. And if you're tuning in today and you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so, and let's get into the reason for this video today. So today I'm gonna be talking about culture shock, the things that have so far shocked me ever since I arrived in Germany. So like I said in my previous video, like life is a continuous learning process, especially if you're in a new place, and I'm telling you, it can be quite interesting. Sometimes it can be challenging in a negative way, but it can also just make life so interesting. So the first culture shock that I experienced once I landed in the country was when I had gone through immigration and then went to the luggage claim, and it was very easy for me to locate my two bags that were actually 23 kgs each, so that was 46 kgs plus the hand luggage that I had that was about 10 kgs and a handbag that was almost like 7 kgs or so. So after I collected my baggage, from that baggage claim area, I went to pick a cart, the wagon that you put your luggage in and then you get out of the airport. And to my surprise, it wasn't free. Like I had to pay €1 for that. Okay, I'm not quite well traveled, but I've traveled several times between Kenya and Qatar, and I know that in these two countries using the luggage cart is free. So the problem wasn't really paying the €1. All the information that you try to collect before you travel. So I understood that in Germany, most of the places will only accept cash. So I emptied my account actually and changed the money that I had in there into euros. So I didn't have a card. And for this whatever service to use the wagon, you had to pay with card. It was like kein Bargeld, like no cash. So I'm standing there like, wow, nimepatikana. What am I supposed to do? But again, as I said, you watch and learn. So I saw another lady kind of in a similar situation. She like didn't have a credit card or a debit card. So what she did was she took this €2 coin and went to one guy. He was like a black guy, from somewhere in Africa, and he asked this guy if the guy could pay for an extra wagon, and then she would give him a euro. And this guy said okay. So I thought, oh, okay, that is something that I can actually do. So I had a €5 note and I gave this guy and I told him, please, can you do the same for me? And in fact I just said it in English, and thankfully so far I've encountered so many people that can speak English, so at least I was able to get a wagon and to put my luggage there, which was so much there was no way I was going to drag 4 bags like out of the airport and into the train station. So number 2, for the first night I had to check into a hotel because I had not quite organized my accommodation. So what I was surprised was that you see, with my 4 bags, I somehow sort of managed to drag them into the hotel reception. And once I checked in, and the guy at the reception was a guy, he didn't even bother to help me lift the bags and put them on the wagon. So at least the wagon at the hotel was free, but there was no help. I know in Kenya, like you don't have to ask help from a guy. They will just see that you are struggling and they would just quickly come to your aid. And I was surprised, like that shocked me. And I kept like trying to put my heavy bag on it and it would slide away, and I would follow it and bring it back, and he was just looking at me. So what I'm thinking is that he expected me to actually ask for help, and since I didn't, he didn't bother. So shock number 3. So of course I had classes from 9 to 12 the following day, so I couldn't check out before then. So I waited for my class to finish before I could check out. And so once my classes finished at 12, I hurried to pack and get my luggage out of the hotel. So I got 2 bags out first of all. I think 3 bags. I got 3 bags out and took them to the reception area, and then I knew that I would go back for the, for the other bag, because of course I took my key card with me. And hi, to my surprise, once I went back to the room, the key wouldn't work anymore. The key card wouldn't work anymore. Like once it is 12 p.m, it stops working, so that you can go back to the reception and pay extra for the continual use of the room. I mean, I have worked in the hospitality industry, and I haven't even worked in the reception. I have never seen something like that in Kenya, so that was quite a shock. So I thought, okay, fine. I understood that maybe that was the vibe. So I went back to the reception and I found this nice lady, and I told her, and by then I managed to speak some German, and I told her that the key card wouldn't work anymore, and she was like, oh, that's fine. I will give you another key card, or somehow I will reprogram it, and just in case it won't work, you can go with my colleague and she would let you in. So the colleague was, I think, had this master key or something like that. So that was really nice. The colleague was also a lady, and we went to the lift together. And of course, when I tried to use the key, it wouldn't work. So the colleague let me in, and I took out my bag, which was fine. And she went on with her business, and I dragged my very heavy bag out of the room. Shock number 4. Is it shock number 3 or number 4? I think this one is still number 3. Number 3 or number 4, I'm kind of confused. So, once I go into the lift, this guy approaches me, one of the receptionists, and he asks me, haben Sie late checkout gebucht? And I'm like, I clearly understood what he was saying, like, did you book for a late checkout? And clearly I say, nein, but I'm leaving now. So I switch to English, but I'm leaving now. And then he says, but it's late. And I'm like, yeah, I understand, but I am leaving now. I'm actually leaving. I was just coming to collect this one bag. And he's still standing there holding the lift, and he says, but it's late. And I'm telling you, all the languages in my head disappeared. I almost started speaking in tongues. I was so confused, like, oh my God, am I in trouble? Like, tried to speak, nothing could come out. And then once I recomposed myself, I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm leaving now, and your colleague last night never told me what time checkout is. And he was like, yes, checkout is 12 and it's now 12:40, so it's late. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. Thankfully, he lets me go. At that point, I'm so scared, like, oh my God, what is this? Because again, I've worked in the hospitality industry in Kenya, especially at the reception, and you would give guests like a little bit of an allowance, especially if it is under 1 hour. Or what we would normally do would be to call the guest and ask them if they are planning to extend, especially if maybe they stay past the checkout time. So this one did not happen. They just waited for me. So anyway, I managed to go down to the reception, and I thought, oh my God, maybe the receptionist would also, the lady would also ask me the same question. But thankfully, she was so polite and so kind, and she took the key card and she was like, have a nice day. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. I'm telling you, I couldn't even wait at the lobby, like for the person who was coming to help me with the luggage. I dragged those 4 bags somehow out of that place very quickly, lest this guy, I don't want to say mean guy, because this guy was just really following their policy. These people are really into rules and policies. They follow them to the letter. And if you're living here, or if you're planning to live here and you cannot follow the rules and the policies, you really have to learn fast, or don't even bother. So yeah, so I don't know whether I'm in number 4 or number 5, but let's say number 5. I come into the house, and yeah, the house looks nice, but now I am shocked that the sockets look totally different. We are used to, the 3-pin plugs, but there's nowhere that you can find a place to plug in the 3-pin. But thankfully, before my arrival here, I did some research and I realized that you have to travel with a travel adapter. And there is this travel adapter that I got from, booking.com maybe 10 years back. I've never gotten to use it because I've never had the need to use it. I've never traveled to Europe before, but it came in handy because now I can at least use it. Now it's only one. I cannot charge two things at the same time. If I want to charge my laptop, then I cannot charge my phone at the same time, or rather I would plug in my laptop and then charge my phone from the laptop, and the power bank is just a whole other story. Also, anyway, if I want to charge the power bank, I have to use the same thing. Like, I have literally one outlet to charge my electronic devices, which was quite a shock. And I tried to go, to the DM stores and other stores just around the city. So I've not checked quite well, but I couldn't really find like a power converter or something to that, or of that sort. In fact, even when I want to blow dry my hair, then still I have to use that travel adapter. But thankfully I have it, because if I didn't have that, then I could just go completely offline. So number 5 or number 6, let's just say number 5, was that now when I went to buy like a SIM card for Germany, because of course calling locally, you cannot really rely on WhatsApp, and especially for that you need Wi-Fi. You have to have a data plan. So when I went to buy like a line, and I bought one from Leica, I realized that I did not have to register. Like, I didn't have to give my details and register that line so that it's under my name. You just buy that line. So I understand the plan that I bought, you get to use the SIM card for 1 month, and then you can get another one after a month or something like that. But I think if you want to keep the same number, then you sort of have to register. There's a step that you have to take to get it registered. You have to send, I don't know what, to their main office, Leica office. But yeah, that surprised me, because I know that in Kenya, if you buy a SIM card, you have to get it registered. Otherwise, I don't know if it would even work. So that was something else that shocked me. So number 6 or number 7 is that you can actually return your water bottles if they have this sign over here. I don't know if you can see that. If they have this sign over here, then it means that the bottle is returnable, and you can actually get a refund of 25 euro cents from that. So if it has that, and I think there's somewhere that is written, yeah, like there's somewhere that is written here like Einweg Fund 0.25 euro cents. So somewhere right there. So that was really interesting, because for us, these bottles, once you're done with them in Kenya or even in Qatar, you just throw them away. But I think this is a culture that encourages recycling, so that you have to return the bottles to the the distributor. And this doesn't apply to plastic bottles only. I also saw like my housemate returning Red Bull bottles, Red Bull cans, the sort of metallic cans. He returned those and several other bottles, and was able to get like 2-point-something euros, which was really interesting. Another shocker, of course, was the fact that in Germany, people cook with electricity. I don't know if that is common in other EU countries, but I just found that to be a little bit strange or different, because in Kenya, where I come from, most of the households will cook using gas. The larger percentage of the households will use gas for cooking, because electricity is just very expensive, and if you have to boil stuff or you have to use it that often, then it would become very expensive. But here, you boil beans, you use electricity. You cook whatever you're cooking chapati, you use electricity, which was quite a shock to me, given the fact that I understand that electricity, even in Germany here, is quite expensive. So that was a shocker. And of course, I cannot forget the fact that you have to pay to use the toilet, especially when you're in the city center or in most places. You have to pay to use the toilet, and that is €1. €1 is something like 130 Kenya shillings. Can you imagine? I know that in Kenya also, maybe in public toilets, we have to pay to use the toilet, but that is really 10 shillings. 10 shillings. So you can compare 10 shillings and 130 shillings is just a lot. To the point that I sometimes avoid staying too long in the city so that I just don't have to find myself in such a situation. But when I have to, of course, then you pay for it. You have to slide the coin into a sort of booth, and then you get a ticket. Then you can use that with it. Once you slide the coin, then the glass door will slide open. Then you can do your business, and as you're getting out, you just have to scan the ticket and the door will open again, or it will just be automatic, because of course you cannot go in without paying, and then you can go out. But that was quite a shocker, that is just so much that you have to pay to use the toilet. But that's a culture here, and you just cannot live without. I think the only place that I saw that was free to use the toilet was when I was at the main train station in Frankfurt. Then the toilet was free to use. But in the train station, the main station in Duisburg, no, it's not free. You have to pay for it. So interesting. The other shocker was the fact that when you're in the city, there is access to free Wi-Fi. That was quite a shocker and such a nice thing. There is access to free Wi-Fi, and it's in many places, I think. Even when I was in Frankfurt again, at the main train station, there was free Wi-Fi. So that is a really cool thing. So I guess this is point number 10. And what really shocked me, or what I found really interesting, was the way I found the sugar in this place to look like. And I can't presume that all the sugar looks like that, but the fact that the sugar was cubed, so that like if you want to use 1 teaspoon, you can just simply add 1 cube, and the rest is, yeah, of course, to the ratio of whatever you want to do. That was just really fascinating, because I've never seen that in Kenya, neither did I ever see that in Qatar, but that was really something that I found quite interesting. That sugar looks like that. It really, it's interesting. And last but not least, and this is just a bonus point, is the fact that the windows have no grills. In Kenya, like most of the windows will have grills, and maybe here there are some maybe older houses that have grills. I don't know that, but the ones that I have seen, even as I walk along the streets, the windows have no grills. Like you can just open and jump or whatever, like it's that wide. You can open it wide. So I don't know, maybe because there's a lot of insecurity in Africa, so like you're avoiding the possibility of somebody coming in and really shocking you. But I think what counters or compensates for that is the fact that you can pull the blinds completely, like you can pull the blinds completely to the fact that when you're sleeping, then somebody cannot come in without having to cut through those blinds, something like that. But again, this is a place that has a high sense of security and safety, so I don't think it's something that somebody would actually consider to do. So yeah, those are the things that have really shocked me. That's my culture shock around this place, and I would really love to hear from you guys, especially those that have traveled to other places, the things that really shocked you about moving to other places that you have now found to be normal. For those who have become Germanized, or any other country that you're living in, I would like to hear them in the comment section down below. Also, of course, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and share, of course, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't, please. And I will see you on another video. Tschüss! Bis später!